welcome to the 5th anniversary podcast. As you all know, I'm Eden, this is my dad Noah, and every week for the last 5 years now, we've been just sitting on my bed and having a conversation about something we want to talk about. So this week, we're going to reflect on these 5 years.
5 years of the follow-up podcast.
Yeah.
I reflect on it frequently because when I'm on airplanes, I'll just listen to an old episode just to hear your voice at a different age.
Just cringy sometimes.
Come on, not at all.
Yeah, but that's okay.
And so we recorded our first episode together in April of 20 and put it out on June 5th of 2020.
Now it's June.
We're recording this on June 8th.
8th.
So this is 5 years of the follow-up. And the only weeks we've taken off are when you're at camp.
Yeah.
So every week for the past 5 years when we've been together, we've been doing this podcast, a conversation that you had asked that we could restart when the pandemic started. We left New York, went back to our hometown,
Yes, yours.
your parents' hometown.
Yeah.
And you asked if you could be the co-host. Talked to Mom, and she said, sure. And so now when you look back 5 years or when you hear the follow-up, what do you think about?
I think about it as definitely a reflection of time. We've talked about issues that have happened throughout. We talked about the news, things happening at school.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about joys like birthdays, vacations, fun school projects,
Sports.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely a reflection of my life, but also the things that are going on. Like I remember our first episode was COVID. Second episode was teaching people how to play Crazy Eights.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of the episodes was how to make a fruit cup and make it pretty.
Yeah. That was one that wasn't on your bed.
That wasn't on my bed. Okay.
That was in the kitchen. Yeah.
Like there's been all of those. We talked about the school shooting in Texas. That's where it was.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about all sorts of things that have ranged, and it shows a little journey.
It does. Exactly. I think that's a great way of putting it. The world's journey, but also what has meant the most to us.
Yeah.
So everything that you just talked about, but your favorite things at Trader Joe's and the Trader Joe's Awards, and how your tastes have changed.
Yeah.
The books that you're reading.
Books, yes.
And now that has changed, and then giving different book recommendations over the years.
Like
losing teeth.
Losing teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It was funny. Now that you're talking about book recommendations, I was actually thinking about books that I used to read when I was younger, and then one of them I remember we were talking about.
Which one was that?
I think it was the Just Grace series.
Oh yeah.
And I remember that. I think I was 7.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and I remember we recommended that on the podcast, and then now the books I'm reading that are a lot longer than that, but I still remember those books, and I used to love those books.
Mm-hmm. So, but you've always liked mystery books and books about friendship and how people are getting along. So now the books themselves are just evolving a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just a little
deeper
plots and longer books.
Some books I've been reading recently, I've definitely seen how those are a little more deep than other books.
Subject matters, or just like relationships, or
relationships.
Just things. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, and more than. Oh, hi. Wait, I want to be called Just Grace. Okay,
yeah, right.
Hi,
I
you're
got you.
Just Grace now.
Yeah. Right, a little bit more.
A little more deep.
A little more depth behind these things.
And it's also my ideas then on everything from the world to basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was I thinking then?
Yep. Yeah. So when anyone ever asks me about it, I just say I think it's just a beautiful time capsule of our lives.
Yeah.
But when we started it, I said, look, this is not a performance. You're not just up here performing. Like, we're going to have real conversations that we would have in the house.
Yeah.
And also that it's a commitment.
Yeah.
So that if you say, oh, I don't want to do it, and we just say, it's either we're not going to do it anymore, or we're going to continue to do it. It's not like, I don't want to do it this week, let's put it off to next week. That doesn't
Right,
happen.
yeah.
It's we're gonna either we're not going to do it at all, or we're going to do it we record every week. And that was a way to teach about commitment. Like, we're going to stick to it. And it's okay if you, at one point, if you say, hey, I just don't think I want to do it anymore. Okay. And then maybe in 6 months or a year, you say, I want to do it again. That would be okay. But you've said and that would be okay with me. Anytime it's for you and for us. Yeah. And so I started thinking about like milestones that we might talk about. So you might say, and this week on the follow-up, we're going to talk about my bat mitzvah. And on this week on the follow-up, we're going to talk about my middle school graduation. And on this week on the follow-up, we're going to talk about my high school graduation. And then on this week on the follow-up, we're going to talk about my first college party. I don't know. I mean, and at that point, we won't be sitting on your bed. But you know what, though? You know what I was thinking would be pretty crazy? What if we move you into college?
Okay.
And who knows where that is, or if you're going to college, I don't know. Uh-huh. And then we do it from the first episode from there is on your bed in college, and then the other ones then would be virtually. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. On your college bed? Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. And some people have noticed when we do this, a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, where are the elephants?" Like, all these people got so used to seeing the elephants, and then we switched the side of the room recently.
If you're wondering, the elephants are right behind the computer.
Mm-hmm. It's
just
still right
around.
there. Have you made a decision on those elephants?
Yeah.
Or you like them?
I don't know. I'll come up with a decision.
You don't have to. I like the elephants on the wall. You don't have to.
Okay. We're kind of getting off topic right
It's
now.
Okay. It's okay. Have you found over the years that there are things that maybe you would be more willing to talk about at some point in your life, maybe when you were younger, that now you think that maybe that's too personal and I don't want to share that at this point, which is fine and normal and natural?
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember what I was more willing to talk about when I was 6, but 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good question. Not sure.
How do you feel when people say, "Oh, I listened to the podcast"?
It's really nice because even if they've only listened to a few episodes, I think it's nice that people listen at all, and I think it's nice that they took the time to listen and that they heard what we had to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You?
Yeah, it always means a ton.
Yeah.
And then I always say, "Well, that's awesome. Like, where did you listen?"
Yeah.
And then if they say, "Well, I saw some clips," I said, "Well, now you can subscribe on
Watch
YouTube
the whole
or
thing.
Apple Podcasts or Spotify or any other place you get podcasts." So then you can hear them. You can hear all the episodes all the time. And I do think that having something that there's not another podcast series like this.
No.
And I do think it brings joy to people's lives when in a short period of time there's like these bursts of joy. Just no matter what we're talking about, what I hear from a lot of people is just hearing your voice brings people joy. Hearing how you might explain something or how you're feeling about something, whether it's
good or bad.
Right, exactly. Whether it's an occasion for joy or sadness, hearing your voice brings them good feelings. So you should know that your voice, that it matters, that it carries weight. Something though I've noticed when people ask you about or when the podcast comes up or doesn't, you don't tell anybody about the podcast.
Yeah.
Explain why.
Because it's okay, and you're not allowed to say anything because we've already had this conversation many times. And I've heard all of your opinions already. Okay. When it doesn't ever really the time doesn't come up, And I feel like it's like kind of bragging, like, oh, I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah,
it.
but I think that speaks to who you are.
I told you I didn't want to get into all your ideas because I've heard them many
All right.
times.
But I don't know if everyone else has.
Okay, yeah. See, thanks.
Okay.
That it's not ragging and people should know.
No.
Because it's a part of me.
No.
But not that people should know, but that I should feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm saying if you ever think that the time is right, I think your instincts are right, and I admire it. I'm not saying you should be telling everybody. I think your instincts are right, and if the time is right, and I also think that tells a lot about who you are because you see it as bragging, and that I really do. I appreciate that about you, because I know we've talked about. I don't know if we've talked about it on the podcast, that adults also and kids, it's always about like one-upping each other. And you were very good at listening to someone tell something about themselves, whether you even believe it or not, and just say, oh, that's cool, or that's awesome, and allowing them to go, and you not saying, oh, well, I do this, and this goes for everything, not just the podcast, and I've always appreciated it.
Yeah.
You like doing this?
I do.
Me too.
What is one of your favorite topics that we've talked about?
I really appreciated when you talked about some of the difficulties you were going through in 3rd and 4th grade. I really, really appreciated that. And I think it allowed other kids to, and I know it did because I heard from some parents who watched that with their kids, so that they knew that they weren't alone in any of their struggles. I really do love the Trader Joe's awards
Yeah.
that we've done the past few years, and then we did
based off the Trader Joe's podcast.
Right, but we did my favorite things at Trader Joe's very early. I think in 2020.
Yeah.
I think we did.
Because I wrote in kindergarten, I had to write what was it, like a little book about something, a how-to book. I think I wrote how to shop in the best ways at Trader Joe's or something like that.
Something.
It was
like
some
that.
book.
Or was it like something where you had to be an expert on something?
Oh, it was an expert. That's what it was. I said I was an expert about Trader Joe's in kindergarten. I wrote this whole book about Trader Joe's.
That was fun. So right now,
okay, there we go.
Right now, and so what we've been doing recently is trying something new every month.
Yeah.
We were not fans of the lemon pesto. And it didn't even have basil, and it was just like a lemon sauce that I'd rather just have had lemon.
Yeah.
And maybe a little cheese on it.
Yeah.
Give me something new that you've tried at Trader Joe's over the past few months that you like.
I like the green tea mochi. That was really good.
And Mom and I used to eat
and
that
the blood
lunch.
orange one's really good.
The blood orange one is really refreshing.
I still want to try it. What's the pink one? Is that vanilla? Strawberry?
Is there something vanilla bean, maybe?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or maybe it is strawberry.
It
might be strawberry.
Whatever's in the pink box, I want to try.
Might be strawberry.
Yeah.
Good. Anything else on your mind for the podcast moving forward? You want to change the intro? Not the music intro.
No, I love that music.
I don't have the time to try to change
and
that.
I like that music.
Yeah,
it's a
or
good
the
one.
graphic or anything. Do you want to change up how you intro the podcast? Is there anything you, aside from asking people to subscribe now, anything you want to change up?
I don't know. We kind of did change it a few months ago.
We did? Oh, just by saying hey instead of hi, welcome back to another. Right, I know what you mean.
Yeah, we changed a little.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we will change it, and it'll be a surprise to everyone.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like,
Well,
maybe we could start with the topic, like something like, or like.
Instead of saying hello first?
No. So it'd be like, hey, welcome back to the follow-up. This week's topic is, or not like that, but like this week's topic is blah, blah, blah. And then we talk about the podcast a little, and then get into it. Like,
I understand what you're saying.
Every week, we've been sitting on my bed.
Oh, I got you. Okay, that's an option.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's an option.
Just thinking about that.
It does help when I listen to podcasts, when people introduce them the same way over and over, it's a good thing because it's
sticks.
it's comforting to know that I know what's going to be said here.
And it sticks.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
So maybe
exactly.
We'll keep
Yeah. Something also that we're going to keep in mind is just thinking about things throughout the week and jotting them down. Like, this could be a podcast topic. So trying to find, maybe it's a small moment here or there that, like group projects or just other things that, hey, this could be a podcast topic, just to show that you can have a short, thoughtful, entertaining conversation by simply listening to each other and talking about a topic, big or small.
And I know we usually do a podcast on this, but we don't have to. We're not going to. But we usually do an end of year for school podcast. But I finished 5th grade.
We did. Well, we did that a few weeks ago.
No, we didn't. Okay, yeah, but I didn't like officially finish.
Right, we did reflections on 5th grade, but now you're finished.
But now I'm done, so that's good.
This is the face of a soon-to-be 6th grader.
Yeah.
This is like your summer face. You seem nice and relaxed.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I don't have much homework.
Nope, you're good to go.
I do have homework, but that'll wait till August.
True.
Well, so that's good.
I love you very, very much. I love that every podcast not just opens the same way, but nothing better than ending with a hug and a kiss too. And I love you very much.
Love you.